The rain poured hard against the glass walls of the skyscraper, city lights blurred by streaks of water. Inside the top-floor office, Ethan Cole sat at his desk, staring at yet another contract. His world was numbers, deadlines, and the kind of decisions that made or broke empires. People in the city called him ruthless. Investors praised him for his precision. Competitors feared his cold efficiency. But behind all of that, he was just a man, one who woke up every morning, packed a small lunchbox, and braided his daughter's hair with clumsy fingers. A single father trying to balance being a CEO and being daddy to the only person who truly mattered, his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. That evening, as the storm calmed, Ethan decided to take Lily out for dinner. He had missed her school play the night before, lost in meetings, and the guilt pressed on him like a weight he couldn't shake. "Let's go somewhere special," he told her, kissing her forehead as they left the office together. At a cozy little diner tucked away on a side street, they sat across from each other. Lily's legs swung under the chair, her bright eyes full of energy. She giggled as she picked at her burger and fries, telling her dad stories about her teacher's silly jokes and how she wanted to be an artist someday. And then Lily stopped mid-bite. Her gaze shifted to the window, where a girl about her age stood outside in the cold. The girl's clothes were torn, her shoes too thin for the weather. She pressed her hands to her stomach, watching other families eat inside with longing eyes. "Daddy," Lily tugged at Ethan's sleeve. "She looks hungry. Can I share my food with her?" Ethan froze. The CEO in him, trained to assess situations quickly, hesitated. He wasn't used to stepping into strangers' lives. His world was clean, controlled, predictable. But Lily's voice cut through all of that. Pure, innocent, and filled with compassion. "Please, Daddy," she whispered. Without another thought, Ethan stood. He walked outside, the rain still misting in the air, and crouched down to meet the little girl's eyes. She flinched at first, wary. But when he offered a gentle smile and said, "Would you like to join us for dinner?" her eyes widened with disbelief. The girl's name was Mia. She was 7, just a little older than Lily. Her mother had fallen ill months ago, unable to work, and their small savings had run out. They were living in a shelter nearby, struggling to find their next meal. Ethan listened quietly as Mia spoke in a trembling voice, clutching the edge of her seat like she was afraid someone would throw her out at any moment. Lily, however, reached over and placed a fry on Mia's plate. "You don't have to be scared," she said softly. "We can share." For the first time in years, Ethan felt something stir inside him, something he hadn't felt since his late wife passed away, a deep, human connection beyond boardrooms and balance sheets. The first challenge, Ethan couldn't shake the image of Mia's thin frame and haunted eyes. That night, as he tucked Lily into bed, she whispered, "Daddy, can we help her and her mommy too?" Ethan hesitated. His company consumed nearly every hour of his life. He already struggled to give Lily enough of his time, how could he take on more responsibility? But Lily's hopeful gaze reminded him of a truth he'd tried to ignore. Money and power meant nothing if he couldn't use them for good. The next morning, Ethan made a decision that surprised even him. He called his assistant, canceled his morning meetings, and drove to the shelter where Mia and her mother stayed. Mia's mother, Clara, was frail, coughing often, but her eyes shone with quiet dignity. "We don't want charity," she said softly when Ethan offered help. "I just want a chance to work, to take care of my daughter again." Her words hit Ethan hard. She didn't want handouts, she wanted opportunity. The second challenge, bringing Clara into his world, wasn't easy. Some of Ethan's board members questioned his decision when he offered her a position in the company's cafeteria. "She has no background in corporate work," they argued. "This isn't a charity." But Ethan stood firm. For the first time in years, he wasn't making decisions just for profits. He was making them for people. "If my 6-year-old daughter can see the value of kindness, then surely the rest of us can too," he told them. His words silenced the room. Clara started her job quietly, humbly, proving herself through hard work. Mia and Lily became inseparable, giggling in the hallways, drawing together in Ethan's office while he worked. His once sterile office now overflowed with colorful crayon drawings taped to the walls. Still, not everyone approved. Rumors spread among employees that Ethan had changed, that he was distracted, softer, no longer the cutthroat leader they knew. Stockholders grew restless, questioning his priorities. The weight of expectation pressed down harder than ever. One evening, exhausted, Ethan sat in his office long after everyone left. He stared at a family drawing Lily had made, a picture of her, him, Mia, and Clara all smiling under a rainbow. Something in that simple picture gave him the strength he needed. The third challenge. Trouble came in the form of a major deal. A rival company tried to exploit Ethan's softer reputation, undercutting his contracts and spreading rumors that his leadership was failing. Investors panicked. For the first time, Ethan's empire teetered. In the middle of the chaos, he came home late to find Lily waiting awake with Clara and Mia. "Daddy, you look so tired," Lily said, hugging him tightly. Clara offered him tea, her quiet presence reminding him that strength wasn't only about dominance, it was about resilience, empathy, and standing tall even when storms threatened to knock you down. Ethan realized then that his true legacy wasn't just his company, it was the lives he touched. The employees who found purpose, the families who depended on him, and above all, the example he was setting for his daughter. The next day, Ethan walked into the boardroom with new resolve. He fought fiercely in negotiations, not with cold detachment, but with vision. He laid out a plan that combined profit with social responsibility, investing in community programs, employee well-being, and outreach for struggling families. At first, skeptics scoffed. But when numbers came in showing how customer loyalty and brand reputation soared under this new vision, even his harshest critics had to admit, compassion could be powerful strategy. Resolution and growth. Months later, the company stabilized, stronger than ever. Ethan no longer carried the weight of being just the cold CEO. He was known now as a leader who built both success and humanity into his empire. Clara regained her health, her smile returning as she stood tall in her new role. Mia no longer looked at food with desperation, but with the joy of a child who felt safe. She and Lily became like sisters, inseparable in laughter and play. And Ethan, for the first time since his wife's passing, he allowed himself to breathe, to open his heart to the unexpected family forming around him. One night, as they all sat around the dinner table, Ethan, Lily, Mia, and Clara, Lily looked up at her dad with the same bright eyes that had started it all. "Daddy," she said softly, "I'm glad we shared." Ethan swallowed hard, blinking back the sting of tears. He reached for her hand and whispered, "Me too, sweetheart. Me too." Final message. What began with a child's innocent plea, "Daddy, she looks hungry. Can I share my food?" became a turning point in the life of a powerful man. It reminded him, and everyone around him, that true strength isn't found in wealth or status, but in compassion. Sometimes, the smallest voices carry the greatest wisdom. Sometimes, one act of kindness can ripple outward and change not just a life, but an entire world. And so the single dad CEO discovered something money could never buy: the healing power of empathy, the strength of community, and the priceless love of family.